What's up, Clever Masterminds? Clever Boy 86 here. And today I'm going to be reviewing The Walking Dead Season 9 premiere titled A New Beginning. And it feels weird to be doing another Walking Dead review because I started my Walking Dead reviews back in March, and I reviewed every episode from seasons 1 to 8 in less than 2 months, because I think I finished like right at the end of April. But yeah, anyway, so it feels weird to be doing another Walking Dead review, but I'm going to be doing weekly reviews for every episode of Season 9. And I know this one's going to be coming out on Tuesday, but generally I'll try and get them done on Monday. I just didn't have time to do a review for this episode yesterday, so sorry about that. But anyways, let's get into the premiere for Season 9. Now, this review will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen it yet, don't watch this review. But this episode was definitely a return to form for The Walking Dead, because Seasons 7 and 8, well, I mean, they weren't the best. I know the show lost a lot of viewers, but I think this episode was a return to form for The Walking Dead. And, yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. And I just think Season 9 is heading in the right direction. And if the rest of Season 9 is like this episode, I think Season 9 is going to be a great season. But yeah, anyways, so there's been an 18-month time jump since the events of All Out War in Season 8. And things are a lot different now. You know, we see Alexandria is thriving again. We see the Hilltop is thriving. And things are much different. And Rick and the group are helping the Sanctuary out. And I thought that was really nice to see. And Rick is known amongst the Saviors as the man who ended the war. And Rick enters the Sanctuary in this episode. And one of the Saviors is like, Rick Grimes is here. And yeah, so he's kind of known as the famous Rick Grimes. And Michonne kind of teases him about it in this episode when they're lying in bed together. And Rick's like, God damn it, not you too. So I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, one thing I loved about this episode was that characters actually have real conversations. And I think that's one thing that we've been missing a lot from the show lately, is like real human interactions. Like Carol and Daryl have a scene together, Rick and Daryl have a scene together, and you know, we just have these human interactions. And I just thought that was really nice to see in this episode, because we really didn't get a lot of that in Season 7 and 8. But we got to see some actual human conversations between characters in this episode. And yeah, so also one thing I want to note is the opening title sequence. Usually they change it a bit every season, but they have a completely new title sequence for Season 9. Like, the logo's not decaying anymore. You know, it's an animated title sequence, and it's just really cool. Anyways, so basically, at the beginning of the episode, Rick and a bunch of other survivors, Daryl, Michonne, Maggie, Carol, Enid, Sadiq, King Ezekiel, I'm trying to remember who else. Oh, Sydney from Oceanside, Jadis, who her real name is Anne, so I'm gonna have to get used to calling her Anne. Also, Father Gabriel was there, but they basically all went to this museum to look for supplies that they can use for making weapons and farming, and they find this plow, and they have to get this plow across a glass floor, and underneath there's this herd of walkers. So I thought that was a really cool scene. They basically have to move this plow across the glass floor, and of course the glass starts to break, and they just have to get this plow across the floor. But the glass caves in, and Ezekiel almost falls into this herd of walkers. And it actually felt like Ezekiel was in real danger. Like, I was thinking, is Ezekiel gonna die here? Because it felt like he was in actual danger. And, yeah, so he made it out alive, obviously. But I just thought that was a really intense scene. And, yeah, so I thought that was a great scene. And then, on the ride back to Alexandria, Ezekiel proposes to Carol, and Carol says no. But I like that they're in a relationship. Like, I mean, I kind of wanted Daryl and Carol to end up together, but I kind of like the idea of Ezekiel and Carol. But anyway, so they're riding back to Alexandria on horseback, and they come across some walkers, and a new character who we meet in this episode ends up getting bit. His name's Ken, and he dies after the encounter with walkers. So they have to go back to Hilltop, and Maggie has to tell Ken's parents, because Ken was pretty young, like he was like a teenager, maybe 18 or 19. So Maggie has to break the news to Ken's parents. And then Gregory tries to convince Earl, Ken's dad, to kill Maggie and basically take Hilltop back, because the Hilltop had an election for like who would be the leader of the Hilltop, and Maggie won, and Gregory basically wants to take the Hilltop back, so he convinces Earl to try and kill Maggie, and Gregory basically tells Maggie that someone defaced Glenn's grave, which was a really smart move on Gregory's part, and it's kind of funny. He can come up with this master plan to get Maggie killed, but he can't remember Maggie's name. Like, it's not Margaret, it's Maggie. Like, it's been like 3 seasons and he still can't remember her name. Like, in this episode, he actually calls her Margaret, and it's like, dude, her name's Maggie. So basically, he tells Maggie that someone defaced Glenn's grave, and Maggie goes to check it out, and Earl is there, and he tries to kill Maggie, and Enid tries to help Maggie, but ends up getting knocked out in the process, and then basically Maggie takes off Earl's hood and realizes that it's Earl, and I think she put him in prison, if I remember correctly, but basically she realizes that Gregory was the one who was behind it all. So she basically has Gregory hanged in front of everyone. And that was a really great scene. I just thought that was a great ending to the episode. Finally, Gregory is dead. And yeah, so she basically has him hanged. And it was a pretty brutal ending, but Gregory he had to die. There was no two ways about it. But I really like that ending, though. But anyways, a couple other things I liked about this episode. Like I said, I liked how, characters were actually interacting in this episode. Like, Rick and Maggie have a scene together. Oh, we finally got to see Maggie's baby in this episode. And, yeah, we finally got to meet Herschel Ree. So that was a really great scene. And, yeah, so Rick and Maggie have a scene in this episode. Daryl and Carol have a scene together. Rick and Daryl have a scene together. So we actually got human conversations in this episode, which I think we've been missing from the show for a long time. And this episode just felt like previous seasons. Like, it recaptured the feel of the old Walking Dead. And I think Angela King is doing an amazing job at making season 9 feel kind of like older seasons of the show. And I really respect her for that. But anyways, that's it for this review. Hope you guys enjoyed. To give this episode a rating out of 10, I'm going to give this episode a solid 9 out of 10. I thought this was a really strong premiere, and really looking forward to episode 2. I'm actually excited for episode 2, because like when season 7 and 8 were airing, like I wasn't really like looking forward to each episode, and sometimes it took me like 5 or 6 days to get around to like watching the new episode. But I'm actually really excited for episode 2. I'm excited for season 9. I'm, invested in the show, and I'm just so glad that The Walking Dead is back. And I don't mean back for like another season. I mean The Walking Dead that we know and love is back, and I can say that with complete confidence. So, anyways, I'm gonna end the review here. I almost said I'm gonna end the vlog here, but this isn't a vlog. Anyways, that's it for this review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for my review of The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 2, titled The Bridge. That will be coming next Monday, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, that's it for this review. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all for the next one. Alright, bye guys.